Hey guys, it's Rogue, and in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all the Mortal Kombat games, least favorite to favorite. This is my personal opinion, like my personal list, and I'll be explaining why each game places where on the list, and yeah, let's get into it. And by the way, the first Mortal Kombat game I've played is Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and then MK9 is the first one I really took seriously, so that will have an effect most likely on what games I pick and where I place them, so yeah. And one more thing, I won't be including games like Shaolin Monks, Sub-Zero Mythologies, and Special Forces. So yeah, now let's actually get on with the video. So at the bottom of the list is Mortal Kombat 4, just because I kind of feel like the graphics are weird, and I know they couldn't really control that at the time, and you know, just because graphics, I know that's very like a weird thing to pick at just because of like when they made the game, but it just, I don't know, and I feel like the gameplay is kind of weird too, and it just, I don't know, it's definitely my least favorite out of the games, but I'm not saying it's bad, and the story is neat too, but I don't know, it's my least favorite, but it doesn't mean I don't like it. Yeah, and that's really all I have to say on that game. Like, the roster is pretty good, you know, but yeah. And I think this is reason enough to have at the bottom of the list.
Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise. Too late, Jarek. You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
So next game on my list is Mortal Kombat 3, not Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, just because the base roster of Mortal Kombat 3 was just not that good compared to the other games, and it's definitely my least favorite game out of all the original ones, and yeah, so that's why it places second worst on the list, and yeah, it's still a good game, just again, it's not on the higher part of the list just because there's other games I like a lot more, so yeah, that's really all I have to say on that one. So moving on. Now, every Mortal Kombat fan is definitely gonna kill me for this one, but I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat, just the first one, I would say is third on my list, just because, again, it's good, and I feel like it has to place higher just because it's a classic, it's the original, you know, but I don't know, it just, on my list, I wouldn't pick to play that one compared to other ones, you know what I mean? And also, I have my own personal reasons, like, I lose every single time whenever I play against my girlfriend on the arcades, so yeah, I'm not good at it, and I guess that probably adds to the reasons why I don't like the game as much as others, but yeah. Okay, so next on my list is Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. It's a great game, it's fun, and the opening cutscene's amazing, and you know, it's neat, and actually that's where I started to play as Shang Tsung a lot, and Shang Tsung's definitely one of my top 5 favorite characters, just because I started to play as him because Liu Kang's not in the game, and that's mainly the reason why that game doesn't place higher. And if you weren't aware, Liu Kang's like my absolute #1 favorite character, just in anything. So of course I'm not gonna like that game as much because my main character is not in it. So, but it's still a great game, and you know. Okay, so next on my list is Mortal Kombat 2. I really like that game. It's definitely my favorite out of the original trilogy of the Mortal Kombat games, and I feel like it has a great roster, a good story, and it's just a really good Mortal Kombat game in my opinion. And I have a lot of fun playing it, like whenever I go to the arcade or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a really good game. That's why I have it like placed in the middle of the list. So I don't really have that much to say about it, but it's definitely a great game, and yeah, so all right, so let's move on to the next one. So here I would say Armageddon I'd place after Mortal Kombat 2, just because, you know, it's a great game. Obviously it has like everyone in the roster, so that's what makes it great. And I feel like that's the main thing about the game though. Now the Conquest mode is a lot of fun, but I like the Deception one a lot better, so I'd have to place this under that. And but yeah, it's a fun game. It's definitely one of the first Mortal Kombat games I really played, and like had just a lot of fun playing it when I was younger. But yeah, so definitely a really great game, and I have a lot of memories playing it. All right, so then MKX, and a lot of people are probably getting mad that I placed it underneath 11 or I placed it above Mortal Kombat 2 and stuff like that. But I don't know, I enjoyed the game for a while, but now just it's definitely one of the games I really took seriously, and that's where I like super duper got into Mortal Kombat. And yeah, I just said super duper, but yeah, no, it's a great game, but I feel like it's not as good as the other games I'm about to say afterwards, you know what I mean? And I feel like it introduced great characters like Takeda, you know, he's definitely my favorite character that came out of that game, and I feel like the cinematic story was really good too, but at the same time it just didn't feel as good as other cinematic stories, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Mortal Kombat X, but it's definitely a lot of fun. All right, so now we're in the top 3, And I'm gonna say the first one out of the top three is Mortal Kombat 9, just because I feel like that's the first one I really got into. You know what I mean? And definitely just so much fun. I love the cinematic story mode for that game. The roster was great. It brought back all the 2D era characters, and yeah, it was just such a good game. And it had tag team mode, and yes, it was really good. So definitely one of the best Mortal Kombat games in my opinion. But yeah. But I just remembered one thing it didn't have. It didn't have single fight, which was really annoying when I was playing it, because then you can't really practice unless you want to do a whole tower. Well, I guess yeah. So, but I guess that's really not a big deal in the in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to bring up, because I'm not just going to only talk good about the game, because that was annoying. All right, yeah. Okay, so my second favorite Mortal Kombat game is Mortal Kombat Deception. It's so much fun. The roster is really good, and the conquest mode is definitely just the best. Like, I don't know. I wish they still had Mortal Kombat story modes like that too, but I kind of like the cinematic modes just a little bit more. I don't know, but it's definitely such a good game. I love how you can just explore like 5 different realms, and you can just walk around like seriously just free roam. You know what I mean? And go around fighting people. And like, I don't know, I really didn't like Shujinko that much, but still, it was such a fun game. And I definitely wish we can get something like that that's more modern. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it was just so much fun. But definitely my second favorite Mortal Kombat game. And yeah. So now that leaves us at our number 1 spot, and you guys probably guessed it because it's the only main Mortal Kombat game I didn't say. Mortal Kombat 11. Just because it's my favorite game. I love playing it. I play it seriously almost every day. It's like an addiction at this point. And it's so much fun. And maybe that's just because what I'm doing right now is why it places so high on the list. But I really don't think so. I feel like it has a great roster, has a great story mode, and also Aftermath was just amazing. I definitely recommend buying that. It just makes the overall game even better. But just the base game is just so much fun. And I feel like I can just have fun, keep playing it over and over and over again. And the Towers of Time, just doing anything. And playing online in Combat League is so much fun. It's definitely top 3 worthy for anyone, I'd say, who's like a Mortal Kombat fan. But it definitely is my number 1 favorite Mortal Kombat game as of right now. So yeah. But yeah, that's my list. That's all the Mortal Kombat games ranked in order of my least favorite to favorite, like of the main games. And yeah, so if you agree with that, leave a like on the video. And if you don't agree with it, still leave a like on the video. And comment below what you think would be a better list and how you'd rank the games. And yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say about that. And if you have any suggested videos I should do, please let me know in the comments, because I'd love doing that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah.